A growing passion to serve humanity through activities of development workers is gradually enveloping marginalized communities around Bauchi, the state capital. The passion is further anchored on desire to salvage the common man, especially residents of the state capital, where social amenities are lacking from economic deprivation. In Bauchi, one of the least developed and disadvantaged communities is the Sabonlayi community, located opposite the Nigerian Army School of Armor along Nengi-Kano Road. Residents of this quiet community are predominantly traders, animal rearers, retired soldiers, and a pocket of serving and retired civil servants who cannot afford the high cost of living in the main city. All roads leading to Sabonlayi are untarred, and residents suffer most in the rainy season when reaching home after heavy downpour turns into a nightmare. Doing business in such a community may be unattractive due to poor road network. However, despite their challenges, these great but poor Nigerians share one thing in common: love. This love that binds them together has helped them to overcome the problem of ethnic and religious differences often used to cause disaffection. This unquenchable love for one another propelled them to fight the common enemy, poverty. It was the realization of the people's oneness that galvanized the development worker, Monica Tanko, to mobilize Sabonlayi community members to come together to wage war against this cankerworm called poverty. With the support of a selected few, Monica set up an association named Awala Women of Wisdom Farmers Multipurpose Cooperative Society. Monica Tanko, the founder of this association, which later transformed itself into a community-based organization, Azurfa Women and Youth Development Initiative, AWOYDI, speaks on the journey so far.
Thank you very much. Azurfa Women and Youth Development Initiative, formerly known as Awala, started as an individual. This started as a result of past experience, mistakes. So it enables me, whenever I see women at the community level, I feel the passion of how to make sure that these women are economically empowered. So that leads me to a kind of making sure that women are formed as a group. We started it as Women in Politics. Later on, we decided to register. So we started the office in a particular house. Started the office there, so later on we were able to have an office close to the community without window. We started it that way, so later on we were able to have an office again, 2 offices with windows and other things. The movement started, just as I rightly said, with a vision on how to see women are economically empowered. Because I remember in the past, most of the women that we are working with, most of them don't have education much. So as a result of they were able to empower them with little resources, ideas, for them to be able to have ways of making businesses in their own way.
Having crossed the first hurdle of forming Village Saving Loan Scheme or Adashengata and enlisting the support of residents of Sabonlayi, the next hurdle was how to access financial support from Bauchi-based NGOs or sub-grantors, considering the fact that AWOYDI lacks required structures on ground. How did Monica Tanko convince the NGOs, and which ones came to our rescue?
Later we did to register with the state government, and as a result of that, luckily, Action in Nigeria, WBL, now came into Bauchi, of which they were able to identify 4 CSOs comprised of Fahimta, Ash Foundation, Rahama, and Formward. And they were kind of looking for CBOs to work with. So they released an expression of interest, of which we as Azurfa were applied. They were able to scale through. They came for a farm exercise at the community level. We were able to scale through.
Fahimta Women and Youth Development Initiative, AWOYDI, is one of the reputable Bauchi-based NGOs that first recognized the potential of AWOYDI. The executive director of AWOYDI, Mrs. Dina Daniel Estefanos, gives reasons why AWOYDI won her organization's heart.
Okay, being the executive director of the organization Fahimta Women and Youth Development Initiative, I'm fortunate to be part of the process from the beginning. One of the key deliverables then was to be able to bring out CBOs at the grassroots level, even if they are not standing on their feet, because we want to develop CBOs at the grassroots level to be able to secure grants. So one of the qualifications is for the CBO to have come together to have corporate registration. For Awala women, we scout around the states at different LGAs. So Awala matched to be one of the CBO that is registered at the state level. So having that registration at the state level qualified them to be mentored.
Similarly, Atta Sisters Helping Hand, or ASH Foundation, is another NGO that was on hand to support AWOYDI. The executive director of ASH Foundation, Comfort Atta, bears her mind on the technical qualities of AWOYDI that prompted her organization to approve a request forwarded to it on bullying.
Yeah, Azurfa has been one of the CBO funded by AWOYDI, so granted by AWOYDI, and then funded by Action Aid, Global Affairs Canada, for the past 3 years now. And what actually qualified Azurfa with ASH Foundation is we knew when Azurfa started, even though they just started, but the person that was fronting it, that's the executive director, Monica Tanko. I know her for a very long time, that has been in the development work for so many years, for over 10 years, and knowing fully that she has the capacity, she will be able to drive that the development work if it has to do with her.
A Bauchi-based major donor, the Development Exchange Center, DEC, approved a grant for AWOYDI under its small-scale project on women economic empowerment and sustainable agriculture. It was a major breakthrough for AWOYDI as it marked the first time it moved its services from Bauchi to Ogoro local government area, where it trained women on drip irrigation farming, adult education, and improved nutrition practices.
As a result of that, again, we were able to scale grant from DEC with SSPF project here in Bauchi under Germany, of which we work with them on sustainable agriculture and economic empowerment. After that grant, we were able to scale another one with the same DEC in the year 2 on the same thing, the sustainable agriculture and economic empowerment.
The management of AWOYDI went into another partnership with AfriHope on 16 days of activism, which involved creating awareness among women and girls on the negative effect of gender-based violence and how to checkmate it. It was a moment women and girls shared their unpleasant experiences on this thorny issue that threatens the existence of the family and the society at large. Though young, AWOYDI management under the leadership of Monica Tanko, the founder, also partnered Bauchi State Government Microfinance Institute, MIFIN, and got funding for a village saving loan scheme it gave to 10 women groups across Alkaleri, Bauchi, and Tafa Balewa local government areas. These VLS associations that benefited were able to pay back the loan within 5 months. Water, sanitation, and hygiene WASH is another thematic area prioritized by AWOYDI. During the year under review, the management constructed improved toilets within the basic school in Sabonlai community to promote best hygiene practices that will guarantee healthy living. Despite its late appearance in the development work sector, AWOYDI has stories to tell about how its support has impacted positively in the lives of the commoners in Sabonlai, Bauchi, and in some few other local government areas in and outside Bauchi State.
Well, one of the success stories that we can say today, we have an office. We have about 7 paid staffs, and we have about 3 volunteers presently. And at the community level, we have visibility all around. We're able to register with CSC, number 1. We're able to register with networks here in Bauchi. Visibility is there in us, of which we partner with a lot of organizations here in Bauchi. So we started that way. Luckily, when we get the WVL Action Aid Nigeria, we were able to work with Fahimta Women and Youth Development Initiative. So they gave us a grant on the first year. This is our 4th year of working with them. So when we get the grant on the 4th year, we're able to work, and thank God we continue till today. And presently, as I'm talking to you now, we're able to form and train 45 VSLA groups In total, 1,125 women being trained on livelihood and economic empowerment. We also train them on MEF, Micro Enterprise Fundamental. We also train them on GBV, gender-based violence. We also train them on bullying, of which we were able to identify children in schools. We train them on bullying management and peace building. And presently, we are working with Shofon, smallholders women farmers here in Bauchi. We started with one local government here in Bauchi, but now we are in 4 local governments. We're in Alkaleri, we're in Tafa, Belewa, Bogoro, and Toro, of which we are working with them in aspects of livelihood and economic empowerment.
One of the notable beneficiaries of AWOYDI VLS scheme is Madam Celsius Tangod. This woman, who sells food produce and clothing materials around Gida Dubu housing estate, says she owes gratitude to AWOYDI for improved economic well-being.
I want to thank God for Awala women, because when I started, it was just little inside here. Initially, when they start, they introduce the program, so we are a little bit afraid because we don't know how the program runs. But when we started, in fact, we are very happy for the program, because when we started the program, the shop wasn't like this. But as they give us, as times go on, with little loan from the program, I enlarged my shop from here. And you can see even the other shops there is the beneficial from Awala women. Because apart from the shop, I have some land that I benefited from this program.
Okay. Another resident of Ngwarwambai at Sabon Lai, Malama Zabba Usabo, is an animal rearer who used loan granted her to buy a cow she names Aminu. She gives reasons for her love for animal rearing and why she calls the cow Aminu.
Sunana Zabba Usabo. Sunan dan saniya na kuma Aminu. Saboda ni dai ina son wannan abin da yasa na sa mishi suna Al-Amin. Dan abun ka ji an kira shi da kalmar Al-Amin, amincacce ne, to na amince da kiwon shi yasa na mishi lakabi da wannan suna. Lokacin bai fi kaman wannan karamin haka. Kuma dalili dai kudin adashin gata ne.
As earlier mentioned, residents of Sabon Lai are from different parts of Nigeria. Mrs. Abimbola Adeyemi from the southwest feels at home in this community and registered as member of the Adashingata group. What is her opinion about the scheme?
Honestly, from the time I joined this National Women Group, it has been so much easy for me to save. Actually, my business that I run now, before I started, I've been running business less than 100,000. But now that I joined the VSLA, and so far so good now, I built a business which is up to 300,000 which I just joined not more than 2 years.
Rose Samuel Badli, an indigene of Gombe State, has been able to support her husband to convert a mud house of 1 room to a 2-bedroom apartment with loans from AWOYDI.
Dama ɗaki na kwaya ɗaya da room ɗaya. Ga ɗakin da na kara nan. Ɗayan ɗakin ki na wannan gurin. Wannan kuma shine ɗakin da na kara da girman falo. Dama half ne daga nan shine fadin gida na gaba ɗaya. Nan sai ɗakin da yara na suke kwana kwaya ɗaya. So na gode ma ya kawo sosai.
On her part, Aisha Usman, who also rears animals within her household, was able to obtain fertilizer loan for her husband at a time the commodity was beyond the reach of the common man.
Gaskiya na yi adashin gata, na ji daɗi sosai, kuma na ɗan ɗauki kuɗin da ba yawa yake da shi ba, amma Allah ya sa mun albarka a ciki. Da farko da na fara saya na ɗan sai akuya na ne sai na fara kiwo. Akuya tana nan tana haihuwa, na sai ɗan rago na zo na ajiye shi a gefe. Ina jin daɗi wannan rago gashi na mallakin kayi na ne, kuma akwai akuyan ma tana na a gefe. Dan a yanzu ma wannan a shafa da muka fasa na wanda ya wuce na sai keken ɗinki da shi. Yanzu keken ɗinki naira 70,000 ne, kuma gashi na sai shi na ɗaki ne na aji. Gashi wani ƙarin wani abun farin ciki da daɗi da naji suka yi wa mai gidanmu, ya ji daɗi, ya ce ba za mu fita a cikin wannan abu ba. Wannan maganan take ya ji daɗinsa, da damina mun zo mun zuba mun ga alherinsa. Gaskiya muna musu godiya sosai sosai, muna musu godiya.
The village head of Sabon Lai, Alhaji Aminu Jibrin Sarkin Yamman Turun, commended the management of AWOYDI for initiating the Adashen Gata scheme, hoping that the CBO will expand the scope of these activities to cover more residents of the community.
Akwai abubuwa da ya shafi noma da kiwo suna bada basu suka kuma jama'a ta sun tabbatar da cewa sun amfana da wannan taimako da Azurfa take bayar. Akwai wata makaranta a nan kusa ma sun gyara toilet, akwai kuma wani makaranta na Islamiyya da suke kokarin yin toilet a wajen. Muna roƙon ita Azurfa ta faɗaɗa wannan taimako din, in ya kama duk da maza mata ya kamata ta faɗaɗa shi. Muna roƙon.
Having gone this far, what other plans do the Bauchi-based NGOs have for this young, vibrant and focused CBO, Azurfa Women and Youth Development Initiative, AWOYDI?
You can see from the initial stage they have no grant, but right now I can proudly tell you that they have a secure grant from other organizations such as DEG, Ash Foundation, and we long to see them getting grant from international organizations because they already have the structure. They have what is needed.
What will qualify them for this year grants if they will give us one person nominates an individual from the organization to undergo the training. Our training lasted for 9 months. We did an online for 2 months, and then the physical was 6 months, and they did the practical in schools for 1 month for all the students in the institute, so it's 9 months. And they make available, that shows that they are ready to go all the way with us. So of course the future relationship is bright. As you can see, that has already qualified them, that by the time we pull out our call for proposal this year, they apply definitely. I'm sure they'll be able to meet it up. I am not in the selection committee, but from what I have seen and their record that I have gone through, I want to commend that they did very well and they stand the chances of course getting another project with us this year.
AWOYDI has come of age, having managed its affairs with high level of transparency, so much that it has attracted the attention of many Bauchi-based NGOs. Where then is the dream destination of AWOYDI? Talatu John, the executive director of AWOYDI, manages the day-to-day activities of the organization, while Monica, the founder, oversees the entire project as the principal advisor.
Yes, our future plan for now, we want to go international NGO.
After about a decade of service to humanity, AWOYDI still has a dream of going beyond Oguru, Toru, Tafaha Balewa, Ganjua and Alkaleri local government areas of Bauchi State, as well as Gwari Area Council of Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory. It is not all about the years of existence or the caliber of the founder or management of a non-governmental organization or a community-based organization, but the passion to work for humanity. That's exactly what Azurfa Women and Youth Development Initiative AWOYDI stands for.